coño es esto, Lucía?
This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer to Reaction. What I'm looking at today is the trailer for Venus. What interests me about Venus primarily is that it is an interpretation of H.P. Lovecraft's Dreams in the Witch House. Now keep in mind, Dreams in the Witch House is one of the Lovecraft stories, for whatever reason, that gets interpreted quite often for television and movies. And it never works well. Some instances of it are better than others, but on the whole, it does not work. It was done for Masters of Horror on Showtime. Not terrible, not great either. Now keep in mind, for Masters of Horror, it was done by Stuart Gordon, who's done things like Reanimator, From Beyond, and Dagon, most of which have been looked upon very well in terms of Lovecraft interpretations. Though Dreams in the Witch House wasn't a fan. It was interpreted for Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, and I believe it was directed by Catherine Hardwicke, who did the Twilight movies. It wasn't great, wasn't terrible, but wasn't great either. And the reason I think that this tends to be the case with Dreams in the Witch House in particular is that, by my reckoning, it is an inherently silly story. If you're not aware, the story revolves around a college-age person who moves into this house, which is the focus of supernatural forces. And there's a rat with a human head. I think his name was Gray Malkin or something to that effect. Why do I remember that? In any case, it is kind of silly, and it's unlike anything else by Lovecraft. It's strange, as I said, silly, and I guess that's why it doesn't seem to work particularly well in live action. That being said, that brings the question of why it's so often adapted. Lovecraft has done quite a few stories, but for some reason, Dreams in a Witch House keeps coming up for adaptation. This reminds me of my issue with Stephen King adaptations. Namely, there are not only too many of them, there are oftentimes repeats of prior adaptations. Just stop. If Dreams in a Witch House doesn't seem to be working as a Lovecraft adaptation, adapt something else. The man has written quite a few stories. Find another. In any case, let's look at the trailer for Venus.
Lucía se ha metido en un marrón muy gordo.
¿Qué coño es esto, Lucía?
Ni Dios la ha visto.
La chica está ahí.
¿Dónde has sacado todo esto?
Son regalos que me trae ella.
¿Y quién es?
La sirvienta.
Todos acaban yéndose de aquí. No la escuches. El mensajero está listo. Ya está aquí.
¡Déjala!
¡No sería ni Dios! Madre mía, Lucía, la que has liado. Pues si solo tenías que bailar.
Estoy bailando. Por fin ha llegado el día. Vamos a bailar.
That was the trailer for Fear, directed by
John Balaguerro.
And I have no idea what to make of that. It didn't help that it was in Spanish without subtitles, though the narrative in terms of its imagery was just chaotic, and I have no idea of what was happening. Though keep in mind something. This was directed by
John Balaguero.
And this is the man who directed Rec. Rec, I want to say 3 and Rec 4 as well. So he's talented, to be sure, and it's potentially good. But that trailer does it no favors. Would it have helped if it had subtitles? Most definitely. Though I don't think that would have changed the chaotic nature of it. So what do you think? This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer into Reaction. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know down below. And as usual, consider a like or follow. Peace.